light, let the whole world see His love as we shout out the name of Jesus. There are people searching for so much more. Shine your light, show 'em what's worth living for. Let it shine in the morning when you rise. Let it shine when you're found in the darkest night. There is hope in Jesus, life anew. Let His love shine through you. We wanna lift you up, we wanna praise your name, we wanna shout it out. Forever we will sing of your amazing love. We wanna lift you up, up, up. We wanna lift you up. Lift your hands and your hearts up to the sky. Lift your song up to Jesus. Let it rise. Lift Him high above everything. He is all we'll ever need. We wanna lift you up. We wanna praise your name. We wanna shout it out. Forever we will sing of your amazing love. We wanna lift you up, up, up. We wanna lift you up. We wanna lift you up. We wanna praise your name. We wanna shout it out. Forever we will sing of your amazing love. We wanna lift you up, up, up. We wanna lift you up. Sing it out, sing it out, sing it louder. Shine your light, shine your light, shine it brighter. Dance around, dance around, dance around. Shout it out, shout it out, shout it out. Sing it out, sing it out, sing it louder. Shine your light, shine your light, shine it brighter. Dance around, dance around, dance around. Shout it out, shout it out, shout it out. We wanna lift you up, we wanna praise your name, we wanna shout it out. Forever we will sing of your amazing love. We wanna lift you up, up, up. We wanna lift you up. We wanna lift you up. We wanna praise your name. We wanna shout it out. Forever we will sing of your amazing love. We wanna lift you up, up, up. We wanna lift you up, up, up. We wanna lift you up. Shine your light, shine your light. We wanna lift you up. Shout it out, shout it out, shout it out.
The liquid hydrogen vent valve has been closed and flight pressurization is underway. T-minus 1 minute, 50 seconds and counting. T-minus 1 minute, 20 seconds and counting. We can see the purges of the main engines as we prepare for ignition. T-minus 1 minute, mark and counting. The firing system for the sound suppression water will be armed in just a couple seconds from now. It has been armed. T-minus 35 seconds. We're just a few seconds away from switching to the redundant sense sequencer. T-minus 15, 14, 13. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have. And the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Hi friends, welcome to another episode of our Daring Faith series. I'm really glad that you're here this morning. And hey, I know a lot of you had to deal with ACP test and MAP testing this week at school, whether you were at school virtually at home or whether you were in the classroom. I think everybody had to do some kind of testing this week. I know that that can be very boring, but I'm really proud of you for sticking it out. And now you get to shake that off and start over tomorrow fresh. And I hope that you're going to have a really good week and maybe not so many of those tests. And hey, don't worry about those tests. I know everybody makes them seem like they're really important, and it is something that needs to be done. But here's what I tell the kids in my house. As long as you give real answers and not silly ones, and you do your best to finish all the questions with a real answer, you've done what you can do. You've done your best, and everything else will take care of itself. So I'm really proud of you for seeing it through, and I'm really happy for you that they're done. So today we're continuing our discussion about faith, and let's take a look at our Bible verse. Our Bible verse is from Ephesians. It's in chapter 3, verse 20, and let's read it together. With God's power working in us, God can do much more than anything we can ask or imagine. Now, we have talked about our imaginations a little bit recently. You know, that is where we come up with ideas. That's where we create stories and pictures in our heads. That's whenever you can close your eyes and you can see what you are dreaming up, right? Now, our imaginations can get really carried away sometimes. Sometimes our imaginations could be that a cat is as big as a skyscraper and it's going to become a robot, and now it's going to take over the city, and we're going to be turned into a superhero, and we have magical powers and we can fly across the town and save the day. Imaginations can be really wild, and in our Bible verse that we have just talked about today and that we're learning, it says that God can do more for us than we can even imagine. So that is pretty outstanding, right? I think so. Because if we could imagine all of those really, really wild things, then if God can do even more than that, then that just proves to us what we already have been learning all this time, that God can handle anything, and we just don't need to worry about it, which is really cool.
Let's all jump together. This song is Ephesians 3:20. It says, with God's power working in us, God can do much, much more than anything we ask or imagine. Let's sing it.
With God's power working in us, God can do much, much more than anything we can ask or imagine. Ephesians 3:20. With God's power working in us, God can do much, much more than anything we can ask or imagine. Ephesians 3:20.
One more time.
With God's power working in us, God can do much, much more than anything we can ask or imagine. Ephesians 3:20.
So today specifically, we're going to talk about Moses. Now, I've mentioned him just a little bit because we were talking about whenever the Israelites had gone over into trying to get to the promised land. Remember, they had wandered about and for a really long time, and they were trying to get into the promised land, and there was this river in their way. And in that lesson, we talked about stepping out in faith a few weeks ago. So I mentioned how that was a little different than whenever the waters parted for the Israelites and Moses helped them get across the Red Sea. In that situation, God just took care of it, parted it, and they walked across dry land. Where with the Jordan River, they had to take a step, and then it opened up a little bit more. Take a step, opened up a little bit more. And so God was present with them, and he was walking them across that river. This one, he's still with them, but it's a big, grandiose gesture, right? Now, in this instance today, what we're going to be really talking about is the bravery it took for people to not freeze up, but to actually get out there and walk across that dry land, or to not turn back and go the other way. They were really scared. They didn't know what to do because Pharaoh had decided to change his mind about letting them go. They could hear him coming. And whenever they realized that they were being followed, everybody got really scared and they didn't know what to do. And whenever Moses talked to God about it, he said, hey, here's what I need you to do. So Moses did do that step out in faith. He did what God told him to do, even if it didn't make sense. But once those waters parted, everybody could have froze up. Some people probably did a little bit and needed some help from their friends, but they didn't turn around and go back. And they didn't just stand there out of fear. They decided to trust God and to be brave and go ahead and get across that Red Sea before it was too late. Now, whenever we're talking about bravery, we talked about that last week too. Being brave is whenever you can do something even if you're scared. And there are a lot of situations in everyday life where this happens, where you're scared, but you've got to be brave. Now, there's real bravery that's rooted in trusting God and knowing that he's going to take care of you. And that faith is what gives you the ability to be brave, even if you're scared. And then there's kind of fake bravery, right? The big word for that is bravado. That's a really big word. And whenever you're kind of faking it, you can still get through, but you're probably going to be scared again next time. Now, see, the really great thing about whenever you let God, when you trust God and you let him help you to be brave even when you're scared, is that usually over time you start being less scared. It helps you even later, because that's just how awesome God is. He's not just thinking about right now. He's got everything all pulled together for you. And so today we are going to see a little story about Moses and the Israelites so that we can remember that story and see how their faith and trust in God helped them to be brave and get across that Red Sea. We're also going to check in with our Skeppets. You know, they finally made it to space. They've been through the asteroids and they've had all these crazy things, and they're going to start to figure out what is the problem. Right? What's been making gravity do all those crazy things, like when cereal's floating and all kinds of weird stuff. They're going to find out what the problem is, but they don't exactly know what to do about it, and they've got to deal with it right now. And it's going to take some bravery for them to be able to not panic and not be scared and to deal with their situation. So we're going to see what happens with them today. We're going to learn a few songs, and of course, we will be back for a Space Goat challenge at the end. Okay, so I hope you enjoy your lesson today, and I'll meet you back here for Space Goat.
Moses and the Red Sea. This is Moses, who was an Israelite born in Egypt in a time when Israelite boys were not supposed to live.
Wait, huh?
Moses, however, grew up in the palace of the Pharaoh, the very man who was enslaving the Israelite people. When Moses grew up, he made a big mistake
Uh-oh.
and fled Egypt
Ah!
to live with the Midianites.
Ah!
But God called Moses back to Egypt
Ah!
to deliver his people with the help of his brother Aaron.
Phew.
The Pharaoh did not want to let God's people go, and God showed his power throughout all Egypt by sending plagues. Even with all the suffering, Pharaoh's heart stayed hard, and he would not let the people go. On the night of the last plague, Pharaoh woke up and heard a great cry in Egypt. For there was not a house in Egypt where someone was not dead. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and told them to be gone with the Israelites. So the Israelites immediately left Egypt and made their way for the Promised Land, taking with them many riches from Egypt. They took Joseph's bones as they had promised him many years before. God led them by a pillar of fire by night and a cloud by day. God told Moses to have the people camp along the shore of the Red Sea.
Okay, got it. Where's up in here?
God told Moses that the Egyptians would come after them, but that God would show his glory and power through this. Pharaoh changed his mind and readied his army to take back the Israelites. The Egyptians found the Israelites camped along the shore of the sea. As Pharaoh and his armies came close, the Israelites panicked. They cried out to God and asked Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness?"
Hey, everyone up.
But Moses told the people, "Don't be afraid. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm." Then God said to Moses, "Why are you crying out to me? Tell the people to get moving."
All right.
As night came, the pillar of cloud became fire, and it went between the Israelites and the Egyptians. Then Moses raised his hand over the sea, and God opened a path through the water with a strong wind.
Whoa.
The wind blew all that night, turning the seabed into dry land.
Come on, are you?
So the people of Israel walked through the middle of the sea on dry ground, with walls of water on each side.
Come on.
Then the Egyptians chased the Israelites into the middle of the sea. But just before dawn, God looked down on the Egyptian army from the pillar of fire and cloud, and he threw their forces into total confusion. "Let's get out of here, away from these Israelites!" The Egyptians shouted, "The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt." When all the Israelites had reached the other side, God said to Moses, "Raise your hand over the sea again."
You got it.
Moses raised his hand over the sea, and the water rushed back into its usual place. The Egyptians tried to escape, but God swept them into the sea. That is how God rescued Israel from the hand of the Egyptians that day. When the people of Israel saw the mighty power that God had shown against the Egyptians, they were amazed. They put their faith in God and in his servant Moses.
That time on Scuppet. No, Scuppet. No, in my Scuppet. No, the space in. Oh, I know. Scuppet in space. Everybody said that some weird things were happening in Scuppet, but I did not really know what they were talking about because everything seemed normal to me. They said they were going to space. Ah! So I said, I go. But they said, Winston and Hector. But that's okay because I press buttons and they go blast out in space. But then they ran into an asteroid field, and then I had to get out of it. But then they did, and so now everything is fine. But now they are here. No, they're not here. They're still in space. Hey, Han, did I say everything okay?
Yes, brother.
So can I press the button now?
Yes.
Yay!
You know, Hector, being up here makes me think about how small we are. You know, in the whole scheme of things.
What are you yapping about over there?
Nah, never mind. Wow, look at the moon! I've never seen it this close before.
Well, you never been in space before.
You know how everyone always says you can see a face in the moon? I never see it.
Well, there's your problem. Moon's over here.
No, it's over here.
Winston, that's no moon. Actually, that is a moon.
Told you.
Winston, there are 2 moons.
What?
2 moons!
Oh no!
Well, I guess we found the problem.
Scupperton, come in! Hello, anyone? Is anyone there?
Hello?
Oh, good, Bestos!
I'm Bestos.
Listen, we know what the problem is.
There's the problem?
Yes, why do you think we've been doing all this?
Because I like to press the buttons.
No, you...
Bestos, there are 2 moons.
2 moons?
Yes, 2 moons.
But aren't there always 2 moons?
No, there's just 1.
2 moons. Oh, 2 moons! Hi, 2 moons, 2 moons, 2 moons! Everybody open the eyes, 2 moons! Get up!
What is it?
There are 2 moons!
What?
I said there are 2 moons!
That explains everything.
It does?
Yes,
How?
our universe is perfectly in balance. So, if there are 2 moons now instead of 1, that definitely explains all the weird things happening here. But the question is, how did it get there?
I think the question is, how do we get it out of here?
Oh, right. Well, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I haven't really thought about it. Hector, Winston, how is the moon affecting you up there?
Well, I think our rocket is undecided about which moon it wants to go to.
Interesting. The moons are fighting each other's gravitational forces.
Ah!
Give me a minute to figure it out.
Sure, take your time.
Yeah, whatever you need.
So what do we do now?
I don't know yet.
Do you know now?
Still not yet.
What about now?
Not yet! I'm trying to figure it out, but I need some quiet.
Hey, Han. What about now?
Ah!
Oops.
Oh, brother? That must have been a long time.
Hector!
Oh!
Hector!
Oh!
Hector, we have to be brave. We have to take control of the ship.
Well, I'm too afraid to be brave.
Hector, being brave isn't about not being afraid. To be brave, you have to do the right thing, even when you're afraid. You have to face your fears.
Well, I'm afraid we're gonna get tossed in one of those moons over there.
So face that fear and take the wheel.
All right, here I go. Oh.
You did it! I knew you could be brave. Hey, all you scuppets down there. It's time to be brave, okay?
Copy that.
But we still do not have a plan.
Actually, we do.
You figured it out?
Well, yes, but let me just say first that this is a radical idea.
Sounds like a plan to me. Let's get going.
I haven't told you the plan yet.
Okay.
Well, we need to get the second moon out of orbit, and the only way to do that is to change its speed, so it drops out on its own.
And how do we do that?
Oh, that's easy. Just strap a rocket to it.
Come on, Bestos. Be serious.
That's actually exactly what we are going to do.
Blast off!
Well, but what about Hector and Winston?
They will be fine if we execute the plan correctly.
Meaning what?
Meaning everyone has to do their part at exactly the right time. No mistakes.
Blast off!
Hey, that was really awesome. I think that the video that we got to see about Moses, I love the way that you get to see them walk across. That's the fun of animation. You know, we really can't make something like that happen on our own and film that with real film cameras and get that all, you know, put together like a movie, like for real. It takes lots of CG work and stuff like that. I love the animated videos that we get to see because we can kind of get an idea. Now, they are drawings, it's not the real thing, but I like that one. I thought the music was good too. Kind of gives you the goosebumps, you know? So let's watch Space Goat. Are you ready? I really hope you were listening. I hope you were listening. Let's see what's going on with Space Goat today. See if we can take care of these questions.
For thousands of years, people have looked up to the stars and wondered what's beyond. Thoughts of distant galaxies, strange planets, and possibly even life, unlike any we've known on Earth. But no one could have ever imagined in the deep expanse of our universe lives one furry creature with 4 legs and a jetpack. Bah.
Hey, Space Goat.
His name is Space Goat, and he's here to help you, and he's here to help us, here to help us answer life's toughest questions.
All right, I'm so ready.
Who was chasing the Israelites? The police? Pharaoh and the Egyptians? A scary dog.
Okay, who was chasing the Israelites? Was it the police, Pharaoh and the Egyptians, or a scary dog? Okay, don't run from the police. And a scary dog. You don't want to run from them either because then they're going to think you're playing or they're going to think... Anyway, don't do that either. I think it's Pharaoh and the Egyptians. Let's see.
Pharaoh and
All
the
right, we
Egyptians
got
were
one.
the ones chasing the Israelites.
Good job.
Well done, cadets. What did Moses put in the water? His staff? Kool-Aid? Or bubbles?
What? Huh. Okay, I'm pretty sure we're going to get this one. So what did Moses put into the water? Was it his staff? Was it Kool-Aid or bubbles? Now, the Red Sea, I'm sure, was even bigger than it would be now, but okay, not Kool-Aid. Do you know how much Kool-Aid it would take? It would take like a bajillion gallons of Kool-Aid to be effective. And bubbles. Again, no. I'm saying staff.
Moses indeed put his staff into the water. Well done.
We got 2.
What did God build for Moses to cross the Red Sea? A helicopter? A bridge? Or nothing? He separated the water.
Okay, see, I was getting a little nervous because whenever it says, what did God build for Moses to cross the Red Sea? I thought, he didn't build anything. I'm glad nothing is in there because no, it wasn't a helicopter. They did not have fossil fuels. And no, it was not a bridge. They didn't go over it. They went through it. Right. Nothing. He separated the water.
Well done, everyone. God did not
3
need
for
to
3,
build
friends.
anything for Moses, for he separated the water for him.
You always do so good on this.
Until next time, stay spacey, cadets.
Challenger
Okay, Space Goat. We will see you next time. All right, good job, friends. So that was a great lesson. I really, really love this lesson. In fact, we did this at our preschool a couple of weeks ago, and it's just always fun. It's always a great lesson. This is one of those where our imagination comes in, right? Because we are trying so hard to imagine what would it be like to see all of this water, like just part out like that, and to walk through it. You know, would we see fish swimming by? I mean, I don't know. This is one of those things where it is really cool to imagine. And I imagine also that I would be scared. I would be nervous. I'd be super nervous. Not because I didn't want to do it, right? Not because we don't want to, but because that's just so out of the ordinary that you don't know what to think about it. It's just beyond what you can figure out, right? And that's where, see how God can do so much more than we can even think of. We can't even really wrap our heads around it. And so that is one reason why I love this story. And I'm so glad it was a part of our faith series. So this week, I'm going to leave you with one more little song that you can listen to and dance to if you want to. And next week, we're going to finish up the rest of our lessons and our stories from our faith series. And then I will probably also add in a continuous big long Scuppets video where you can see all of the Scuppet stories one after the other instead of chopped up week to week, so you can watch it all together if you would like to. Okay? I love you, and I'll see you next week. I hope you have a great week. Be good at school, listen to your parents, and I'll meet you back here in 1 week.
No, I won't be